victim was involved in alleged assault at Manhattan High School. The Raleigh County Police Department received a report that 33-year-old woman brandished a knife at the victim around 1 p.m. on the 26th. The altercation was non-physical. RCPD is still investigating to confirm the report. Raleigh County Police arrested a man who violated the Offender Registration Act at the 2000 block of Tecumseh Road. 22-year-old Denzel Leonard was convicted in 2010 for aggravated assault using a deadly weapon and criminally threatening a 15-year-old. During his arrest, Leonard was also charged for possession of a hallucinogenic drug and use or possession with intent to use drug paraphernalia. He is currently being held at the Raleigh County Jail on a $40,000 bond. A group of Fort Riley soldiers are returning home this week. About 120 soldiers from Fort Riley's Phoenix Company are coming back after spending 9 months in Afghanistan. Phoenix Company soldiers operated the Gray Eagle unmanned aircraft systems. The Gray Eagles provided surveillance and air power to U.S. forces on the ground during Operation Freedom Centennial. A fall favorite might be hard to get a hold of. We put pumpkins and everything around this time of year, but will there be enough pumpkins to go around? Lindsay Ford went out to see if there will be pumpkin pie at your family table this Thanksgiving.
I was obsessed with pumpkins. We carve them, mash them up, and bake them. Pour them into lattes and distill their aroma into scented candles. Harvesters around the country are experiencing pumpkin shortages, and according to reports, crops are down by half this year. However, the bigger question is, did the shortage hit close to home, or is Kansas in the clear for this year? Britt Farms pumpkin patch owner Angela Britt will tell us how Manhattan will be impacted.
We haven't experienced the shortage as much though as other areas of the country because we plant our pumpkins in June, and there was all that rain in May, and that's what made a shortage in other areas that would have otherwise usually planted in May. It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of activities, and we get a lot of groups that come out as well as students and families.
Britt Farms is not only a pumpkin patch, but a place for kids and family to enjoy animals, hay rides, a moonwalk, and a play area. And according to Britt Farms, there will be no shortages for us this year, which means hooray to endless pumpkin pies. We'll save a pumpkin just for you.
It's good to know we'll be keeping pumpkin pie on the table this year. Fort Riley is welcoming a deputy commanding officer. Colonel Patrick Frank is joining the Big Red One as the new deputy commanding officer for support. Frank will be honored with a ceremony this Friday. Frank has served as the executive officer to the commander in International Security Assistance Force, as well as support head of the operations for the Big Red One. Colonel Frank better be ready to see some ghosts because Fort Riley is no stranger to ghostly encounters. Some say it's one of the most haunted military bases in America. This past Sunday, residents at the base and surrounding communities took a stroll around the base to hear some of the most compelling ghost tales. The Fort Riley Ghost Tours have become an annual event put on by the Historical and Archaeological Society of Fort Riley. The tour included stops at some of the most haunted buildings on base. Luckily, most of the ghosts talked about on the tour were the friendly kind. Raleigh County Police are asking for your help in solving an aggravated assault case. It all happened in the 600 block of North 11th Street in Manhattan. When police arrived, they found an injured 22 Alexander Schultz. Schultz was involved in a fight with an unknown suspect, which caused him to have a severe compound break to his ankle. Schultz was transported to Via Christi Hospital for treatment. Police ask anyone for information on the crime to contact RCPD at 785-537-2122 or Manhattan Crime Stoppers at 785-539-7777. Sunset Zoo ushered in Halloween celebration with their spooktacular festivities this past weekend. Kids of all ages got to trick-or-treat among the animals at the zoo. Families were able to walk through 5 candy trails set by local businesses and nonprofit organizations. Highlights of the event included a costume contest, an indoor pumpkin palooza, and a performance by the Manhattan High School Choir.
So yesterday we We ran our initial numbers and we were at nearly 3,800 people, which is about 1,300 more than we saw last year on Saturday. So it was a really great day for us, a big day, which meant an emergency candy run last night. So we were out running around getting 37,000 pieces of candy last night.
Stick with us. We'll have Tanner Barth here to talk about the boys in blue. That's right, we've got your Royals update coming right up. And don't forget to keep up with MHK All Day on Facebook. Just head on over to our page and click like to get updates about what's going on in the Flint Hills. We'll be right back.
What makes undergraduates stay in school, thrive, and graduate? K-State professor Greg Eislein knows. Classes that create a learning community. Professors who stir curiosity. Involve students in their own education. Motivate them to look at things in new and surprising ways. That's why he's Carnegie Case Kansas Professor of the Year. That's the Wildcat way.
Powerful ideas are sparked by a natural curiosity. It could begin with a single seed or a brilliant ray of light. At Kansas State University, it begins with research that advances the world, where science and creativity meet. At Kansas State University, powerful ideas begin with you.
A Wildcat legacy from generation to generation.
Where my grandfather went to school.
Where my mother went to school.
It's a legacy scholarship program started by the K-State Alumni Association, specifically for the children and grandchildren of K-State alumni. When you buy a K-State license plate, you fund legacy scholarships.
Show your purple pride and be a part of the Wildcat legacy.
From the Little Apple to the Big Apple, through internships, networking, and great professors, Lauren Bishop landed the job of her dreams, working with entertainers and celebrities for a PR firm in New York City. From backstage at the 25th anniversary of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, watching Mick Jagger and Bono rock, to London for the launch of a new luxury hotel, Lauren Bishop is living her dream. That's the Wildcat way.
Back to MHK All Day, I'm Daniela Leon. Halloween is right around the corner, and we wanted to know what costumes we are going to be seeing. Our woman on the street, Ashlyn Turner, went to investigate what our community's youngest residents are dressing up as.
With Halloween just around the corner, I got a chance to talk to a few kiddos to ask them what they're going to be for Halloween and what they were looking forward to most in their candy bucket. And what are you going to be for Halloween? Oh, ooh, that was good. What are you going to be for Halloween?
I am going to be a Frankenstein bride.
Oh, why'd you pick that?
I was watching a movie about a Frankenstein, so I chose that.
For Halloween, my favorite candy is chocolate bars and honey.
My favorite candy is Milky Way and Three Musketeers.
And what are you going to be for Halloween?
Batman!
Batman! I know on Saturday night, I'll be sitting on the front porch with a bucket full of candy, waiting for those cute little kiddos in their outfits. I'm Ashlyn Turner, reporting for MHK All Day.
As the Royals this year. It's October, and once again, the Royals are back in the Fall Classic. To tell us more about the playoff run, I am joined by sports anchor Tanner Barth. Having some issues there, Tanner?
Oh, not really, Danielle. But one thing I do know are the Royals are hot as any team in baseball right now. They were able to come out, and the ALCS we'll talk about first. They were able to take over the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3. It took a 45-minute rain delay, but the Royals able to come out with a big win there. Eric Hosmer. And last night, Eric Hosmer does it again. Game 1 of the World Series, the Royals are able to win in exciting fashion, 5-4, 14 very long innings, but the Royals got it done. So now on to the starters for tonight's Game 2 for the Royals. It'll be Johnny Cueto. He's had a rough postseason so far, 1-1 record with a +7 ERA. Kind of got beat up in Toronto in the last series. Opposing him on the mound for the Mets will be their ace, Jacob deGrom. Outstanding so far for the young pitcher, 3-0 with a sub-2 ERA. First pitch tonight in Game 2 of the World Series is set for 7:07 Central Daylight Time. Switching for the Royals to K-State football now. Kansas State struggled down in Austin, but were able to get on the board here just before halftime when Joe Huebner found freshman Dominique Heath in the back of the end zone. The Wildcats had a rushing attack all day long, as you see Charles Jones rip off a nice 20-yard run here, but it wasn't enough for the K-State offense that has struggled so far in this season. As we said, big day on the ground for Charles Jones. Finished the day 122 yards, but the big stat line of the day came from the Texas backup quarterback Tyrone Swoops. Every time Texas would bring in the big 18-wheeler package, it seemed what they would score. Swoops would finish with 3 touchdowns on the ground for the day. Next Thursday, K-State will host number 2 Baylor Bears on national television. We'll stay with football, but now on a different level. Kansas high school football action last Friday night. 3-4 Rock Creek Mustangs hosting the 7-0 Nemaha Central Thunder. The Thunder would get the scoring started here in the first quarter. How about an 80-yard touchdown scamper from running back Kyle Rethman to put Nemaha on top 7-0. Defense, although, was the theme of the night for the Thunder as a swarm of Central players take down Rock Creek running back Skylar White for a loss. A touchdown run here by junior quarterback Ryan Hazenkamp sealed the deal for the Thunder as they would go on to win 42-14. Taking a look now at the Class 6A District 5 standings, Manhattan High has struggled here in the last few games and currently set third with an 0-2 record in district play, but still 4-4 overall. At the top of the district standings, in first place is Topeka High, currently ranked third in the state. Through 8 games, they still remain perfect. Switching classifications now, we will go to 4A. Classification District number 5. The Wamego Red Raiders started the season 0-5, but now have all the momentum in the world after stringing together 3 games in a row. The Red Raiders now to 3-5 in the season, slowly starting to climb up the district standings. So for them, it's a great time, Daniela, and a great time for sports all around the state of Kansas.
Oh, it is. Did you see that 14-inning game last night against the Royals and the Mets? How about at Game 1, the Royals coming on top? What are your thoughts on how the rest of the series is going to go?
I think it's going to be a good competitive series. I think the Royals may struggle today facing ace Jacob deGrom. He's been outstanding so far this preseason. 3 wins in his 3 starts and an ERA under 2. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat, but it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure Kaufman will be really pumped up and everything like that, so it should be interesting. But kind of talking about Big 12 football here, Danielle, kind of a sad tragedy at Oklahoma State last weekend. As we said, during their homecoming parade, a car goes into the crowd and ends up killing 4 people and injuring 30-plus people. That's just a sad thing down there.
Yeah.
So all of our thoughts and prayers really go to the families down in Stillwater, because we know that if that was to happen here, everyone would support us.
It would have been very devastating, and we just celebrated homecoming. Well, to keep up with MHK All Day crew and everything that's happening in the Flint Hills, follow us on Twitter at MHK All Day.
Kenya, Africa. A baby elephant is trapped in a waterhole. Researchers rush to the rescue, and a 400-pound baby elephant and its agitated, dangerous mother are finally reunited. One of those researchers is K-State alumnus Mark Sowers. While at K-State, he used telemetry to study bison on the Konza Prairie Biological Station, a skill he now uses to study and help elephants, his lifelong dream. That's the Wildcat way.
Around here, school pride isn't just some slogan on a t-shirt. It's the spirit that comes from understanding we are stronger when we're together. That's the essence of K-State Proud, a nationally recognized student-led fundraising campaign. In just 6 years, K-State Proud has helped raise more than $500,000 to help students who need it most and appreciate it best. Think of it as Philanthropy 101. K-State Proud. It's just one more way the Kansas State family treats one another, well, like family. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way. Nearly 150 years ago, the first native limestone was carved into the campus of Kansas State University. Since that time, K-State has known what it takes to rise to the challenge. Now, we're challenging ourselves to become a top 50 public research university by the year 2025. To reach that status, our research dollars, endowment, career award winners, and patents are growing to match our internationally recognized programs and research. K-State 2025 is more than a challenge. It's a commitment. A commitment we'll keep. Because where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Autumn is full of sweet things like candy and pumpkin pie. If you're getting in the mood for this season, one of the big things to think about is baking. Our own Lacey Siefkin took our cameras onto her kitchen to show some cookies that are great for this time of year.
Hi there, my name is Lacey Siefkin, and today we'll be making apple pie cookies, which is perfect for this fall weather. Now, it's a fairly simple recipe. You need less than 10 ingredients, but just to warn you, you will get messy. But that is the fun part of it. So let's get started.
Preheat your oven to 350 degrees and then spray down your muffin tin with some non-stick spray. Now you're going to dust your work area with some flour. Always make sure you start with a clean area and clean utensils. Gently roll out both of your slightly warm pie crusts. It's the start of the mess. On top of one of those pie crusts, you're going to spread a thin layer of caramel topping. Kind of like a pizza. Now you're going to take your apple pie filling out of the can, then chop it up, then spread over the caramel layer. Switching over to the other crust, you're going to start cutting half-inch strips. Now you're going to use the strips to create a lattice top over the pie-covered crust. Just remember, over then under.
Kind of looks like a pie, huh?
This recipe is great because you can use any pie filling you want, not just apple, maybe pumpkin. It's almost time to turn this pie into a cookie. Now take your egg, crack it, then whip it good. In a separate bowl, you're going to mix together your sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg, which I've pre-mixed. Time to turn this pie into a cookie. You can use a round cookie cutter, or if you're crafty like me, then you can just use the rim of a glass. Whoops. And then transfer to your muffin tin. The muffin tin helps the cookie keep its shape. Now brush the tops of your cookies with the egg wash. Then sprinkle the spice mixture on top. This recipe makes about 20 cookies. Now it's time to place them in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. Or until golden brown. Be sure to let them cool down. You can find the full recipe on MHK All Day's Facebook page. Voila! This is Lacey Siefkin with MHK All Day. Enjoy!
Okay, so on the video, it looks like you really enjoyed these cookies. Tell me a little bit more about them.
Well, don't they look good? It's a pretty simple recipe. You just need less than 10 ingredients, like I said. You definitely need to look up the recipe that we have on our Facebook page. Would you like to try one?
Yeah, I would, actually, right now, before I go into segment. Before people see me chewing off, tell me how you came up with this recipe.
I'm a big Pinterest fanatic. I definitely look up a lot of recipes. Very sweet time. My roommates beg me to bake all the time. So this is what was left.
Have you cooked any other cookies, like a cherry pie cookies or anything like
I've
that?
actually done pumpkin pie cookies. That's pretty awesome.
Pumpkin pie?
Mm-hmm.
I love pumpkin pie.
I'm gonna experiment with blueberry later.
With blueberry? I don't know if I like blueberry. I'm more of a strawberry kind of girl.
So am I, but blueberry is just a nice color.
Or like chocolate. Well, here at MHK All Day, we heard about a local cemetery that some say is haunted. So I grabbed Natalie Otto and we went out on an adventure to see what people were talking about. And we got a little more than what we bargained for. Check it out.
And see what happens, and hopefully we don't die. Pray for us.
This is the before shot. So right now we're safe and sound.
I've only been to 0 cemeteries in my life.
Yeah, so this is gonna be creepy.
I've only seen 3 scary movies.
We're here. There's Natalie. There's me. I don't think you can tell me. And then our good guide, whose name shall be undisclosed. We left our headlights on. Well, guys, so far nothing is really occurring. Just more sad than anything that, you know, that these tombs are from the 1800s and people don't really come, and see them. I'm not really sensing any type of eeriness or anything. Right now it's pitch black, but there's a full moon. So anything can go in a full moon.
Allegedly, this was the flagpole where the girl was hung from.
Oh, shut up.
Okay.
Okay, Natalie, do you want to explain what's going on right now? Because I'm a little shaky.
So we are all back in the car because we were just standing outside in the cemetery, you know, looking around, and all of a sudden we hear something move in the bushes.
I mentioned something about the girl being hung. There was wrestling back in those woods.
Yeah, and that's when we just decided
We all kind of took off.
Because that was scary. That definitely was a scary adventure. Shout out to Natalie and Addison Tantilla for coming along with me. Well, Halloween is this Saturday, and if you are going to be trick-or-treating and have kids that are doing so, there are a few things you need to know in order to be safe. Number one, always make sure kids under 12 are trick-or-treating with adults. If you have older kids, make sure they trick-or-treat in a familiar place. Number two, always look both ways before you cross the street. Number three, make sure you are always being seen, so wearing a light-colored costume or keeping a glow stick with you is a must. And number four, make sure you have a safe ride home. Would you like to be featured on MHK All Day? All you have to do is send us your pictures on Facebook or Twitter with the hashtag MHK All Day, or send your pictures on mhkalldayshow@gmail.com. You could even end up on TV.
It was the day the music nearly died. Little remained after a 1968 fire roared through Nichols Hall at Kansas State University, reducing the music department to rubble. But before the embers of that terrible fire had even died, a new fire blazed within every member of the Wildcat Band. Using the only sheet music that survived the fire, the band pumped up the next home crowd with a rousing rendition of Wabash Cannonball. To this day, the jingle, the rumble, and the roar still fire up the fans and brings them to their feet. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
K-State Student Radio brings every game to K-State fans on the Wildcat 91.9.
Klein's going to take a pitch out to the right. Hubert dices his way up and into the end zone for the Wildcat touchdown. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw deep over the middle of the field for Tyler Lockett. Catches it. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Kansas State.
For all of your K-State sports coverage, tune into the Wildcat 91.9.
Wired Magazine calls him the Explainer. His students call him amazing. Over 20 million YouTube views show that Associate Anthropology Professor Michael Wesch is transforming higher education. Translated to more than 20 languages and counting, Professor Wesch's teachings still share one common voice: passion. And whether you're learning live or online, that passion is contagious. And that passion is one of the leading reasons Kansas State University is first among U.S. public research universities in producing U.S. Case Carnegie Professors of the Year. Where there's a Wildcat, there's a way.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Tony, our producer, has made me wear the switch hat. So this was part of a dare, and I lost, of course. So now you are going to be listening to me as I read with the switch hat on. So we're going to take a look at some local people who deserve a pat on the back. Welcome to Kudos Corner. Two K-State students placed at the American Criminal Justice Association's Regional Conference. Rebecca Esau and Adriana Olivias both placed in the corrections exam. Esau took third and Olivias got second. Other competitions at the conference included a crime scene investigation, a gun shooting competition, and academic testing. Olivias and SIU were at the conference to represent the Kansas State University Kappa Sigma Upsilon, a national criminal justice fraternity. Way to represent the Cats girls. We'd like to give a shout out to some winners from the School of Journalism here at Kansas State. Tina Akers, Dakota German, and Amy Pond took home top prize at the South Central Broadcasting Society video competition for a music video they made. Several other students were also recognized as finalists in the news feature and documentary categories. Congratulations, guys. Have you heard about the Pumpkin Project? Did you know 1 in 13 kids has a food allergy? This type of teal pumpkin will help you know if households are giving out allergy-free candy. Most trick-or-treating candy contains allergy ingredients, including nuts, soy, and milk. If you see one of these pumpkins out on a porch, trick-or-treaters have no fear. Allergy-free candy is here. This week on the 29th, you can check out the second annual Hogtoberfest from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at the Cox Brothers Barbecue here in Manhattan. If you donate enough, you may even get to make someone kiss a hog. You might want to take your kids to All Treats Day and Boo Party here in Manhattan on the 30th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. You can take your kids down to Poyntz Avenue and trick-or-treat with local businesses. If you're a little more artsy, you can take your family to the Family Canvas in Cork on the 31st and 3 p.m. And of course, the 31st is also Halloween. So how about it, Tanner? What are you wearing right now? What is this going on?
Well,
Did you lose a bet too?
I didn't lose a bet. I kind of went with the firefighter theme. I thought that why not? It's not going to be my Halloween costume, which is a surprise. So,
what is going to be your Halloween costume?
We're going to keep that on the down low for right now.
Oh.
You'll see. If you see me on Halloween, you'll see what I'm going to be for Halloween. But right now, conservative fireman.
Conservative fireman.
You can't go wrong with the fireman.
Okay. Well, what about my witch hat? What are your thoughts on that?
Questionable. That's
questionable. You can't say that, Tanner.
It's a little questionable.
You can't say that, Mr. Tanner Barth. All right. So anything new in sports this week?
Just the Kansas City Royals. I mean, they continue to make their push to win their first World Series in about 25 years. So it'd be a big thing if the Royals are able to come out here and get a win, especially if they go up 2-0, because going to New York City is going to be tough facing a hostile crowd there in New York. So I think this game today is really big for the Royals if they want to continue the momentum going into New York.
Yeah, definitely Eric Hosmer, beating out George Brett in most RBIs ever in the postseason. He beat out George Brett for that. Is that true? I saw something in SportsCenter like that.
It's true.
It's true? So Eric Hosmer, way to go. Well, make sure you check back in with us next week. We'll be talking more local charitable organizations that deserve some recognition. See you then.